my name's Angela and this is Devon Thread Tales. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you everything that I have sewn in January. I've also got one knitting thing that I'd like to share with you, and if it's okay, Amy's going to come along and share a couple of things that she's knitted in the month of January, or finished in the month of January too. So I'm quite excited to share with you what I've got. So I'll start with the first thing, which is what I'm wearing, and I'm wearing the Tilly and the Buttons Indigo dress. And I did a very recent video which was a sew along for the Indigo, and it was this very one that I'm wearing. So I'll stand up, but obviously I'll put pictures up as well. Now, what have I got to say about this dress? Okay, first of all, the fabric that I've used is from Sew Hayley Jane, and it is a viscose fabric. I got it in my November box. I get the Sew Hayley Jane box. It's the medium-sized box, which is £35, which comes with 2.5 meters of fabric and 4 fat quarters, some sewing notions, a couple of sweets, a little sewing magazine. It's a really, really nice thing to receive. It's just something completely different and a nice surprise, because you never know what you're going to get. But I've been really delighted with every box that I've had so far, so win-win. So with this dress, I use the Sew Hayley Jane viscose. I really like the colour of it. I'm really pleased with how it's come out, and I've had such a lovely lot of comments on my sew along video from people saying that the style really suits you, you look really lovely in it, and I am so grateful for everybody that has said those really lovely and kind things to me. However, I'm really trying to get myself into the whole long swishy dress thing. And I think I'm just trying to explore with my style. And I've got another dress that I'm going to show you a little bit later, and I feel the same way about that dress as I do about this. I see pictures of myself in it and I think, actually it looks nice, but it's really not what I'm used to. And I think the more I wear it, the more I will get used to it. But it is such a different style for me. I am used to wearing things which are slightly more slimmed down, or sort of slightly more figure hugging, and this just feels really alien to me to wear something that's so free flowing. It's so super comfortable, I have to say. I made the size 4, yes, I made the size 4, and I am a 36 bust, a 30 waist and a 37 hip. Although I will just say, I re-measured myself the other day, and I've actually got a little bit of a bigger tummy and bigger hips now, so thanks lockdown, that's great. So I did the size 4. I don't think I needed to size down. I was really pleased with the fit. It looks like what it should. The only thing that I did different is I chopped off the sleeves and I added waist ties. So I don't know if you can see those on the screen there, but I added these. The dress itself would be very big and floaty, and I don't think I'd wear it at all if I hadn't have added the waist ties. So I am glad that I did that, but I'm not sure I'm going to rush to make another one just yet until I'm really sure about this one. One thing is for sure, in the summer this dress is going to be absolutely lovely, because it's going to be so super comfy and cool. And one thing I might do to make myself feel a little bit better about it is I might just shorten it a little bit. I did it at the length that it comes as in the pattern, and when I first tried it on I thought I was really happy with that, but I think possibly if it was just a tad shorter I'd feel a lot more comfortable with it. So that is make number 1. I'm just going to go and grab the second thing that I've made. So the next thing that I made was actually something for one of my daughters. I made my daughter Amy the Tilly and the Buttons Agnes dress hack. Now this isn't a dress that comes with the pattern. The pattern is actually a top. I'll just show you the cover of the pattern. I have a printout of it here, so it's only in black and white, I'm afraid, but it is just a very simple t-shirt top. And it's one of the first t-shirts that I ever made. It's such a lovely pattern and I've used it so much. I've used it to make a vest, I've used it to make tops for my daughters, I've used it to make dresses with where you just follow the line down and just make a longer style dress. And I've now made it as a dress but with a gathered skirt on it. Now I had this fabric from Minerva Craft. They actually gifted it to me in exchange for a blog post, and that will be going up soon. And I did think that I was going to use it to make something for myself, but my daughter saw it and went, oh, I'd really like a dress out of that. So I made the Agnes hack, and it is a really, really easy hack to do. There is a blog post on Tilly and the Buttons website which really explains it easily and really well, and I'll put a link of that in the description box below so that you can go and check that out if you haven't seen it before. She wasn't sure if she wanted long sleeves or short sleeves, so for the moment, while it's cold, we left them long and decided that if in the summer she wanted them shorter, I could just cut them off. That was no problem. We had a few fun and games with this. So she decided she wanted to have the skirt quite long. Now I have to say that's not my cup of tea, and she looked absolutely lovely in it, and I'm really, really pleased that she's pleased with it. But if it was me, I think I would have gone for it a little bit shorter. But because the skirt's quite long, and this is beautiful viscose jersey, it's really lovely and drapey. It's got a really nice feel to it, washes beautifully, but it has a really nice drape and it's quite heavy. So we measured where we wanted this to come, because you have to cut the top off a lot shorter than than it actually comes as a standard pattern, and then I added the skirt. But the skirt and the weight of it weighed it down, so instead of it falling on her tummy, it came almost beyond her hips. So that's fine, don't worry, I'll cut it off and I'll start again and I'll add it up a little bit higher. So I did that 4 times because each time it was still really, really low. I just couldn't work out why it wasn't going any higher. Anyway, it's fine. And I'm quite pleased because I've ended up with it finishing so that the skirt and the top, it's all still in line with the stripes. So I've got the grey, green, grey, green, grey, green as the skirt starts. So I am really, really pleased with how that went. There isn't really an awful lot to say about this dress because it's such a simple make. It's a really easy thing to wear. It's just really comfortable. I did put a little label in it, which I can't remember the name of the company that label is from, so I'll make sure I put that on the screen. But yeah, just a really nice, easy to wear dress that she feels really comfortable in. I think she'll wear it in the summer bare-legged with maybe some trainers and things, but at the moment she's worn it with tights and boots. So, talking of Amy, I'm now going to pass you over to her and she's going to share with you a few things that she's knitted in the month of January.
Hello, so Mum has asked me to talk about what I have been making this month. So I started making stuff on Christmas Day because I asked for a few bits. The first was the wool for this jumper, which is on my Instagram, and Mum's got pictures of it that she's going to put in the video. It's the Margaret Beauford pattern from the Tudor Roses book by Alistair Moore, and I love it. I love making it as well. It was challenging but not too difficult to get to grips with. It just took more thinking, which I like, and it gave me something to do in the evenings because of being at home all the time. And yeah, I love it, especially because it's reversible as well, so you can wear it with the buttons at the front like a cardigan, or wear it this way around with the buttons at the back, which I think looks quite elegant. And yeah, I absolutely love making it, and I love the wool, the colour of it, and it's got it, although it's green, it's got flecks of blue in it, and yeah, I think it's lovely. I love it. Yeah, and then I'll show you the second one that I've made. So the second one that I made was for my sister. She wanted me to make her a white fluffy cardigan for her birthday, which is in May, so I thought I'd get ahead and make it. I didn't expect to make so many things already in the first month, but yeah, I made this. It's all from Hobbycraft. Yeah, I didn't like making this very much. The only needles I had in the right size were plastic. The wool's a bit plasticky. Yeah, I didn't love it, but it grew quickly and I got it done. And yeah, I'm not too happy with how it ended up. I'll put it on. It just doesn't quite seem right, but my sister likes it, and it looks better on my sister. Mum will probably put some pictures of her in wearing it, but yeah, I think it's quite nice. Just didn't enjoy making it as much, but yeah. So that's everything I made this month. Oh, I also made a hat. I'll go and get that and show you guys. So whilst I was waiting for my green Margaret Beauford jumper to dry when I was blocking it, I was really bored because I wasn't knitting for about a day or 2 days. So I made a hat with some just spare wool that I had and I didn't know what to do with, and I actually really like it. It was just a free pattern on Ravelry. So yeah, I put it on. Looks a bit silly, but it's quite cute, cozy. So yeah, that's everything I made this month.
So while we're on the theme of knitting, I thought I would share with you something that I knitted in January. I'm going to talk about this fairly quickly because it's quite cold here today, and obviously this is quite a lightweight and sleeveless top, and I'm a bit chilly. So I decided to buy myself a couple of kits from a website called We Are Knitters, and one of the things was this summer weight top, and I thought if I start knitting it now I might get it finished for the summer when the warmer weather comes. But to my surprise, actually this is knitted up quite quickly. I think first of all I was quite excited about knitting it, so I think that made it a lot easier, but it was actually a really super easy thing to make, and it actually is just 2 squares sewn together. Now there's a couple of things about this. First of all, I'm not a knitter like Amy is. As you can see, her work is really intricate and really beautiful, but I am still a beginner and I made a lot of mistakes, and there are definitely some little holes in places and things like that, but you know what, it's fine. I'm going to be able to get away with it, it's fine. So I made this top, and it has these little sort of buttons almost all the way through it, and it's really easy. It's just a stocking stitch, so you're doing a plain row and a purl row, and then every so often you take 3 of the stitches, pop them onto a stitch holder and wrap your wool around it a few times, and then carry on knitting again. And I think they're called Estonian, I think it's the Estonian button, I think that's what it's called. If that's wrong, I'll put the name up on the screen, but I think that's what it's called. So this is the lemon tea from We Are Knitters, and I am, like I say, super pleased with it, and so pleased with how quickly it actually knitted up. It was a lot quicker than I was expecting, and because of the shape of it, I think I possibly could have sized down a little bit, because I feel like the shoulders come out a little bit pointy. I think as I wear it and possibly wash it more, it will soften and these will come down a little bit, but it feels a bit, what's that, is it 1980s or where the shoulder pads were in? I feel like it's really sort of like that. It was ever so slightly shorter than I was expecting, and I think that if I knitted it another time, which I think I would, because it comes with a pattern, you can just you know, reorder wool or yarn and make it again. I think what I would do is I would size down and I'd extend it by maybe 10 to 20 rows, because I just feel it would be a bit more comfortable for me if it was just a bit longer. I've got it on today with some high-waisted jeans, these jeans which all my family hate and they think that I should throw away, but they're just really comfortable. And I think what I'd like to do for the summer is I'd like to actually make myself a pair of really nice high-waisted summer shorts. I think that with this top would look really nice. I'm thinking maybe a white short or something like that. And I think it was Claire from Claire Who Makes Things. She actually made a pair of white shorts in one of her earlier videos. If you haven't seen her, do go and visit her channel, because she is just so delightful. I mean, she literally is the most darling of ladies I think I've ever watched on YouTube. She's so sweet, and she makes some absolutely wonderful things. She doesn't just sew, she does other bits and bobs as well, so go and check her out, and I'll put the link into her to her YouTube channel below. But she made a pair of really high-waisted white shorts, and I think they were sort of like a is it a paper bag top style short? So yeah, I think something like that would be really nice. I have a few patterns for shorts, but I'm gonna have a little search and see which ones are really high-waisted, because I do feel this top warrants it. I'll just get up a bit closer so you can see what this looks like up close, and I'll pop some pictures in as well. But I am super pleased with it. I'm really pleased with the quality of the yarn, and I think the website that I've got it from, they've got it just right in terms of what comes in the kit, and the instructions and the help that they give you along the way as well. Now, if you're interested in getting one of these kits, then I have got a £10 discount code which I can give you, and I'll put that in the description below as well. I have got another kit which I am going to start, and that is a cardigan, which the name has completely gone for me, but it's a bit more complicated than what I have done here. So it's going to take me a lot longer to do, but I can't wait to get started on that and get knitting. So I am going to get changed, and I'm going to show you the next thing that I've made. So the next thing that I've made is also from a Sew Hayley Jane fabric, which I got quite some months ago, and I can't remember which box it was from. But this is a viscose twill fabric, and it's not a fabric that I've used before, but it's really nice. It's a little bit like viscose, but it's just ever such slightly heavier weight, but just as drapey. So it's really beautiful to work with, and it's a really nice weight fabric to wear, certainly at this time of year as well. So the story behind this fabric is I didn't actually receive this fabric. I received the other colourway which came in the Sew Hayley Jane boxes, which was a terracotta kind of colour, really identical to this, but just in a terracotta. Absolutely beautiful, something that I really think is really lovely, but I just knew it wasn't going to suit me. And then I saw other people had this colourway, and I thought, oh, I think I would have preferred that. So I got chatting to somebody online who said that they weren't overly keen on the green colourway that they'd had, so we did a little swap, and it was great. So other than a little bit of extra postage, it was just great because we just swapped those fabrics over. And I had in my mind a dress which I've been eyeing up for a long time, which is the New Look 6574, and I really love this image of this lady and the dress that she's wearing, and I just thought this fabric would be perfect for it. But I think I've been putting off for a little while because I was afraid of making it and ruining it or not doing it in the right size. Now I will say, I mentioned in a previous video that this pattern comes with different cup sizes, but I made a mistake. I was actually thinking about a different pattern, so it doesn't. So I just wanted to put that out there just in case anybody wanted to ask. So I actually made myself a little mock-up of this in an old duvet, and I made the size 12. My measurements really do fall into the size 14, but with the finished garment sizes, I thought, oh, I think I could get away with the 12, and it would just fit a bit better, especially sort of around the shoulders and things. So I did that, but after lots of umming and ahhing, I decided it was actually a bit too small, and I would go for the size 14. So I made the size 14 up, and then I just tacked the zip in and realised it was just too big. And I'd sewn absolutely everything up. Everything was complete. It's a really unusual style. It's actually got a raglan style sleeve, and the sleeve is split. So there's a front sleeve and a back sleeve, and it all comes together, and you sort of put the neckband on to join up the top, front, back, and the two sleeve pieces. So I didn't really know what to do, because there was no way I was going to start unpicking all of that, because this fabric, whilst it's absolutely beautiful, it does tend to fray a little bit. So I decided to just simply take the back seam in, and I reduced it by 2 centimetres each side. I'm really pleased with the fit. I think that now that I've done that, it fits really, really well. And I think now what I would do is I would actually, if I was to make it again, is not do this adjustment or just make the size 12. I think I would do a bit of grading between a size 12 at the top and going out to a 14 around the tummy, especially area. So this is meant to have a really long sleeve, and I made it up with the long sleeve. And if you watch my Indigo sew along, you'll know that I said that I just got a bit disheartened with the amount and volume of fabric with the long sleeve and the big dress, and it just seemed like too much. And when I put this on with the long sleeves, a couple of things came to mind. First of all, I felt like I had a nightie on, like a really old-fashioned nightie. And then I also thought it looks a bit like I've made it from a pair of curtains, because it just looked really dated. It just didn't look right at all. And I think maybe that was the combination of the fabric with this pattern, and a different fabric with this pattern would look right, or this fabric in a different pattern would look right. So I sort of ruffled up the sleeves and decided, yeah, I just need to chop them off. Now, unfortunately, there are two different types of sleeves. There's this long one here, which you can see, there's no shaping to it. It's totally straight with a little cuff on the end. But again, the cuff adds no shape. It's just totally straight. It just adds a slight bit of interest to it. Or there's this sleeve, which is slightly poofy and has like a little band around it on your arm to help create the poofiness. I'm sure there's a different word for that anyway. So I couldn't, unfortunately, cut out the other sleeves because I've used so much of the fabric cutting this dress out. I couldn't possibly get any more out. Plus, I didn't want to have to unpick everything. So all I did was literally chop the sleeves off, and I just hemmed them over. So, thoughts on this dress. I think I prefer this dress to the Tilly and the Buttons Indigo dress in terms of having a long flowy dress, because I think it's got more shape for me, and I think that I just prefer that silhouette and really, really like it. I haven't worn this out yet, but I'm intending on wearing it to work possibly next week, and I think with a pair of really nice boots on, that will look really nice and it will add to the look of it. I'm really pleased with sort of how it fits. It's got a seam all the way down the front, an invisible zip down the back, and then a seam down the skirt, obviously side seams. And I am pleased with how it's now fitting. But is it my style? I still don't really know. I still feel like I'm really playing around with this idea of the long flowy dresses and just still not totally 100% comfortable. But I do prefer this to the Indigo. This wouldn't be any good in the summer, whereas the Indigo is going to be absolutely gorgeous for that, and it's just going to be so lovely. But this, I feel, is definitely more workwear and slightly colder weather wear as well. So that is the new look. I keep calling it Simplicity. That is the new look 6574. Would I make it again? Yes, I think I would, but I would really like to give this style a go, and I think that would be really nice for the summer. I think the shape of it, and then with the little sleeves and having it shorter, I think will be way more up my street. So I'm going to get changed into the next thing, and I'm also going to show you a couple of things. My daughters have been thrifting over the lockdown. We have a huge basket of clothes that we want to get rid of. We want to take to the charity shop, but we just can't take anything to the charity shops at the moment. They're not accepting donations, so we're just storing it until we do. But they had a bit of a rifle through, and they've come up with some really nice things. And I'm just really chuffed that they've had a go at doing a few bits and pieces. So I shall get changed and I'll show you the things that they've done. So the first of the thrifted things that I want to show you is something that my youngest daughter made, and she found her old black school jumper that she used to wear, and she chopped the sleeves off and decided to do a little bit of embroidery. I didn't help her at all with this, and I'm just really, really chuffed with it. I just think it's a really cool thing to have done, and I think it looks really sweet. She wore it the other day with some jeans and a sort of a shirt underneath it, and I thought it just looked really lovely. So she's absolutely delighted with that, and she just freehand embroidered it. She didn't use a pattern or anything like that. However, my eldest daughter, she's also done a little bit of embroidery, and I'm really sorry I can't show it to you right here, right now, but I'm going to put some pictures of what she's done up on screen, because she's actually here at the moment, but she's in a lecture in her bedroom, and I can't go in and disturb her and grab the stuff just because I'm filming this video. So she has a boiler suit, and she bought it because we were doing a fancy dress party in lockdown for my middle daughter. It was her 18th and she couldn't celebrate it, and she just wanted to do something really fun and wacky, and she decided she wanted us all to dress up as a character from the Horrible Histories programme. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but it's a children's educational programme which is just hilarious and really funny, and when they were growing up they absolutely loved this this program. And so my middle daughter decided, well, if we can't do anything, we may as well do something daft. So my husband tried to be William Wallace, I was Boudicca, my eldest daughter and youngest daughter were land girls, and my middle daughter, whose birthday it was Mary the First. So it was just the weirdest day because we all just got dressed up and then kind of carried on with our day as absolute normal. So it was just really bizarre. I'll try and put some pictures of us up wearing all the different things, but it was really funny. Obviously none of the things were homemade because I wasn't gonna entertain making all that stuff as well, so they were just bought things, I'm afraid. Anyway, she bought a boiler suit, Katie bought a boiler suit, and it looks gorgeous. And she said, do you know, it's really nice quality. It wasn't a fancy dress item, it was just a boiler suit. And she said, I really want to wear it, but it does look like I'm going to go and do some plumbing. So she bought herself a little embroidery kit and embroidered a little plant pot and flowers onto the pocket. And then she decided, because she had this embroidery kit, that she was going to do the same on a little denim skirt, and she put that on a pocket of her denim skirt. So I'll have pictures of those up as well so that you can see those. So on to the last thing that I've made, and I have made the Sew Over It Ultimate pencil skirt. Now I talked about making these quite some time ago, the pencil skirt and the Sew Over It Ultimate trousers, and I've made the trousers already, but I made them out of a pontoroma instead of a stretch cotton, and I've done the same with the skirt. I've made it out of a pontoroma, and I am really pleased with how it has turned out. Now I made the skirt quite some time ago, and I made it in a size 12, and I can't fit into that skirt now. I just have put on weight, and unfortunately I just can't do the zip up. However, there is a bonus to that. I don't know if any of you remember the Sew Over It Sienna top that I made, which was beautiful red cotton, and I just said, oh, I only did it as a trial run to see if the dress would fit, and it just wouldn't, it wasn't long enough and I couldn't wear it with anything. Well, that skirt is made out of that fabric, so I might be able to put a little ruffle around that top now. Anyway, I digress. I'll put a link into that video so you can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, I made this skirt and I decided to keep the same size because knowing that that one was too small for me, but this is going to be in a stretch fabric, I thought it would fit fine. I omitted the zip, so I don't know if you can see this on screen, but I'll put video and pictures up. I took the zip out completely and I just sewed it up as normal. I even put the facings in as they are explained to do in the pattern, and I didn't change a thing really other than omitting that zip. And I'm so pleased with how this has come out. I'm wearing it with the, now I can never pronounce her name, but it's the Wanted Tee. Is it Vanessa Pouze? I think that's how you say it. But it's the square neck, oh, I'll take it out of the wrapper because it's probably shiny, but it's the square neck t-shirt. I've only made this once, but I really like it and I quite fancy making it again. I know that Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles has made this. In fact, I followed a tutorial of hers of how to put the square neckline in, and also Anna from You've Got Me in Stitches has made it as well. It's a lovely t-shirt and I quite fancy it in a stripey sort of style. I think that would look really nice. Anyway, I'm digressing. So I've made this skirt. I'm super happy with it. I didn't put in any elastic around the top, which I did with my trousers, and I'm sort of regretting putting the elastic in. I thought I needed it just to be on the safe side because I was worried that they would fall down, but actually the elastic just makes them a little bit more, maybe a little bit uncomfortable if I'm absolutely honest, and I wish that I just you know, used the waistband, maybe made the waistband a bit thicker, and then that would have been fine. So I decided to omit the elastic altogether. I've kept the kick pleat in at the bottom, and I've just sewn it up as per the instructions. This is the front cover of the pattern. And it is, yeah, it's a really simple sew. Even the kick pleat is really simple to do. I would say that this is definitely beginner friendly. Certainly if you're going to omit the zip, then I think this is something that anybody could tackle. But actually the instructions for the zip are really straightforward as well. So I would say this is a really great pattern for a beginner. So all in all, really happy with that. I'm really quite happy with all the things that I've made over January. I felt like I had a bit of a blip to begin with, because I felt like the dresses that I'd made, because I was so unsure about the style and whether I really liked them or not, I got into that sort of, everything I'm making is just no good and I can't make anything. And then I kind of did a bit of that and went, come on, for goodness sake, make something. And I feel like I've actually ended up making quite a few things that I'm pleased with. So I really hope that you've enjoyed that today. I've really enjoyed sharing that with you. Let me know what you've been making in January, and I will hopefully be back with you shortly. I'm going to do another 1 week of Me Made February next week, so I hope that you'll join me for that. But other than that, I hope you're all well. Have a really good week and take care. Bye.